Hello and welcome to Cargo Masterminds presented by cargo.one.
It's all about networking.
It's about making a global connections.
It does make you feel like, you're doing something for the world.
Finding the right partners for a shipment is always difficult.
When we found out that cargo.one offers real-time import quotes, we were just blown away.
I am a big fan.
cargo.one has been a great step to improve the customer experience.
Things which took normally 24 hours, 40 hours, 48 hours, 1 or 2 days is now reachable in seconds, and this is unbelievable.
When we have access to rates from multiple agents from overseas in real time, we're able to get our customers a response within an hour. It's just been fantastic.
cargo.one Pro is letting us reach new markets.
So far, at least we are increased our market from 20 to 40%.
We found that we are being approached by agents we had not previously worked with and able to secure new business relationships.
We have secured bookings out of hours in the office with cargo.one.
We also invited our partners we've been working with for years now, as they can do bookings all around the clock.
With cargo.one Pro, I'm sure that I will get paid for the shipment.
We feel more likely to work and build a relationship with a trusted partner because it's going to be verified. We would definitely encourage all agents to join cargo.one.
You can connect with so many companies in so many foreign countries where you probably don't have a partner at the moment.
This is the difference between getting business and not getting business.
In my opinion, it is really a must to have such tools on hand.
You know, it's an incredible opportunity.
And it helps us win business while we sleep. Everybody can be a digital forwarder by using cargo.one.
This is a totally game changer. It's a miracle for us forwarders, you know.
My name is Reggie John and you are watching Cargo Masterminds presented by cargo.one. This is our exclusive one-to-one weekly interview series with leaders from the world's leading air cargo and logistic companies released every Monday. But we are making an exception for today. We are releasing a special episode to talk about an important announcement. Earlier today, cargo.one, a very smart air cargo booking platform that supports freight forwarders and cargo airlines in digital transformation, announced the launch of cargo.one Pro, a new and a very innovative solution to support forwarders grow with agent-to-agent bookings and global non-payment protection. cargo.one Pro users gain instant digital access to agents' rates worldwide and can book in real time without the need for emails. It promises to offer efficiency, convenience, and confidence to forwarders booking online. To discuss more details of cargo.one Pro, I have with me Moritz Claussen, founder and co-CEO of cargo.one, and Edward Handscombe, VP forwarder at cargo.one. Moritz and Edward, welcome to Cargo Masterminds. Great to have both of you join us for this special episode.
Thanks so much for having us, Reggie. Super excited to be here and to be discussing cargo.one Pro with you today.
Very nice to be here, Reggie.
Great to have both of you. Moritz, before we get into details of cargo.one Pro, just look back in the last 3 years. It's been a tremendous acceleration of digitalization in the air cargo industry, and we have had multiple conversations, formal and informal, in the last 3 years. Just take us through, give us a overall picture of what you have been observing on the digitalization, digital transformation of air cargo industry. I'll get Moritz to respond first, and probably I'll also get Ed, who joined cargo.one quite recently, to comment on this. Moritz.
Thanks, Reggie. Yeah, so Look, you know that at cargo.one, our mission has always been to make the lives of freight forwarders easier, and that pursuit never ends. I think we started out in 2017 doing mini internships with freight forwarding companies, trying to understand what their everyday challenges were, and there are many. It's a very manual labor business up until today, and one of the big innovations back then in 2018 was that we launched digital bookings with instant confirmation between freight forwarders and airlines. And that was a huge leap forward for the industry back then. Sometimes we forget today what the world looked like in 2018. You couldn't actually go and search for rates with airlines, and you couldn't just book with airlines. You had to pick up the phone. You had to pick up your email program to do that. And so that was a huge leap forward. And I think innovation continued on our end. We spend a lot of time with customers. We continued our internships. My co-founder, Oliver, until today, at least once a year, does a proper internship with one of our freight forwarding companies to understand, what their challenges are and how those have evolved over time. And really for us, innovation is not just the incremental stuff. Taking digital bookings online in 2018, obviously we've evolved from there and we've added a lot more airlines, we have a lot more features to what we do. But the big stuff is actually a lot more complex to do. And so we've spent a lot of time working with our freight forwarding customers to understand their everyday problems beyond just digital booking. And more than a year ago, then we brought on Ed. Ed had been leading Airbnb's experience program and had experienced firsthand what it means to actually build a product that really changes lives in a meaningful way. And so Ed joined us in our effort to really help freight forwarders go beyond digital bookings to airlines and help them solve the next big problem that they have. And I think today we can say that with cargo.one Pro, we'll really unveil something meaningful, something that is revolutionary, something very similar in the scope and extent to what we did in 2018 when we launched digital bookings. And it's built on the backbone of what we've done over the past 4 years, right? So having integrated more than 40 airlines, having thousands of freight forwarding customers globally, and having worked with dozens and dozens of freight forwarders to understand their biggest pain points. And cargo.one Pro is really there to then help with that. And we'll go into more detail what that means in a minute.
Ed, you came completely a stranger to the air cargo, and probably it must have been a cultural shock for you when people in the air cargo industry talked about digitalization. I'm sure it may not have been a cultural shock when you met cargo.one colleagues because they are a bunch of people who actually deal with technology on every day. Tell us briefly about you and what did you find attractive in air cargo industry, and how are you helping cargo.one to build new digital transformation tools for air cargo industry?
I joined cargo.one just over a year ago now. And for me, freight forwarding was not something that I had honestly explored in great detail. But once I started talking to the team at cargo.one and also to a few freight forwarders, customers, I started to realize that what I was discovering was really the lifeblood of the world. The reality is that most of the people watching this show right now, they wouldn't have the device they're watching it on if it weren't for the work of freight forwarders that could actually make stuff move, get it to the right place at the right time. And so this was the first thing for me that just grabbed my attention and got me very curious about how all of this works. And I, as Moritz mentioned, I have a background before this working in big systems integrations projects at IBM, and then I was lucky enough to work more than 6 years at Airbnb. And what's fascinating is when you go and you do an internship at a freight forwarding company, which we all do across the whole organization at cargo.one, you can start to understand the people making this happen. They are dealing with a lot of emails, that's for sure. It's all really a very big email game. But these are the same people that are used in their personal lives to using great consumer technology that allows them to connect globally across the world and get things in an instant, whether that's a taxi or whether it's stuff from Amazon or whatever it might be. And I just found this intersection of an industry and a sector that's so important to the world that can kind of learn, and we can bring hopefully a small part of some of the experience, the customer experience that some of the biggest customer tech companies offer to this industry. So I'm very excited to be working in this sector and bring what I can bring. And obviously we're going to talk about Pro, which I think is our big first step into providing something that's truly a different way of working.
Ed, I am actually not forcing you to say which freight forwarding company that you interned, but I'm sure that you must have seen lot and lots of paper and lots of email interactions and messaging that happened. Let's be very honest, probably that's not how maybe an Amazon or an Airbnb work. Is that right?
Yeah, it's true. I mean, it's also, no company is perfect. I don't want to paint every company as being perfect, but or any company as being perfect. But absolutely, the paperwork is almost extreme in nature in some cases, and sometimes rightly so. You know, you take some of the more complicated shipments around dangerous goods. I'm now the proud owner of the Dangerous Goods book, and I keep it proudly on my desk because I think it's a reminder of the power of freight forwarding which is really solving very complex problems. But often there's a lot of paperwork that's probably not needed.
Moritz, let's come to cargo.one Pro. What is it and why should I be excited about it? Why should freight forwarders look out for this?
Yeah, as I mentioned, and also connecting to what Ed just said, right? I think with cargo.one Pro, we're going a giant leap forward in making our customers and freight forwarders' lives easier. It's unlocking a wholly new dimension in kind of how they work. And maybe before I go into what it actually looks like, and Ed will add a lot more color to this, let me describe the problem. If you are a freight forwarder, today you can book digitally with 40 plus airlines on cargo.one. So that problem has been solved. But if you try to actually book import shipments, you will have to maintain a network of agents abroad that you keep relationships with. And the process of actually working with these agents abroad is very, very time consuming. It's expensive at that. It's very difficult because it usually happens across many different time zones. And so freight forwarders spend a considerable amount of time and money and effort and actually building and maintaining these networks with partner agents abroad, facilitate international business, right? Which is the very, very core of what every freight forwarder does. And so with cargo.one Pro, what we're doing is we're giving freight forwarders the ability to book import shipments from dozens of countries at a click of a button. And on the other hand, we're enabling our global user base to essentially offer their services globally for booking with instant confirmation. And what that does, it basically means that we're taking away all of the manual efforts and labor to go back and forth. We're helping agents that are offering their services on the platform to generate revenues while they're sleeping, essentially. And we're offering freight forwarders that are booking import shipments to do so in seconds. And actually, while they're still on the phone with their shipper customer, they can do that booking. And we're backing all of that with the technology and infrastructure that we've worked and built over the past, 4 or 5 years now, having integrated more than 40 airlines for booking and instant confirmation, which kind of makes all of this possible. But more importantly, we're backing all of this with what we call cargo.one Protect, which is essentially a payment protection system in which we give freight forwarders that transact on the platform ease of mind to transact with anyone else on the platform because their payment is protected through cargo.one. And we think this is extremely exciting. It's been a long time in the making. We've got quite a few freight forwarders already using it and having been start on cargo.one Pro in the past couple of months. And we're very, very excited now to launch this to a global audience.
Maybe Ed, you could, since you've been part of this, you've been very integral part of development of cargo.one Pro. What was the main goal? Of course, Moritz said that you got to identify a problem and then you find a solution to that. And there has been a problem that we have seen so many problems and you're trying to address each one of them. So what was the main goal you wanted to achieve with the launching cargo.one Pro?
Yeah, it's a good point. There are many, many problems. And obviously, I think everyone has to understand which is the problem that they can solve the best with the technology and the tools that they have available to them, right? Not everyone can solve every problem in the same way. You know, as we've talked about, freight forwarding is obviously extremely important to the world. And I think we're in a very fortunate position where we had the chance to pioneer really digital booking 5 years ago, live rates, live capacity, and you can see that that's really prevailed now through the industry and become a very big thing. But one of the things that you'll notice if you go and sit inside a freight forwarding office that's really totally broken is the process for arranging an import. So if you've got a customer that wants to arrange an import from the other side of the world, forwarders, as a freight forwarder, you're a bit stuck actually because you can only book air freight out of the country that you're operating in because of the rules and the regulations and good reasons, but doesn't provide a great user experience, of course. And so what you have to do right now as a freight forwarder, if you want to, get an import on behalf of one of your customers locally, you have to find a partner across the other side of the world that can help you. A partner that you can trust, that's going to give you, rates for the local services at the origin side of things. They're also going to, give you the rates for the air freight as well. And then they're going to book it all for you and make sure that that shipment arrives for your customer at the destination. In other words, freight forwarding is really all about connectivity to provide the best customer experience for whoever you're trying to serve. And so really the key, like the fundamental aim with cargo.one Pro is to create a platform where freight forwarders can connect with each other in a new and completely different and much, much better seamless way. And so what Pro really is at its core is if you want to do that import from across the other side of the world on behalf of your customer, now your partner on the other side of the world, they can upload their dynamic local charges at the origin, trucking, customs filing, those types of things. And they can pair that with the live airline rates that come from the cargo.one technology layer that we've built over 5 years. And the result is that instead of having to email your partner and wait for them in a different time zone to come back to you with rates that are not live and not bookable instantly, you can simply go to cargo.one. You can access the rates live from the origin and from your partner that you know and trust. You can see the live air freight rates. You can see the local charges dynamically calculated based on the exact shipment, and you can simply just press book. And at the moment you press book, you've got the airway bill number to hand. You can pop it in your TMS and you can wait for the pre-alert, and you can not waste your time sending emails and waiting for responses, but you can actually just immediately get back to your customer. And so while your competition are still waiting for an email response, you're just there directly with the quote, you've won it, and the customer's very happy.
Fantastic. I think both of you mentioned something that this is something that I keep insisting in the conference sessions that I moderate. As you said about customer experience, user face experience, customer delight. I think we are all of e-commerce era. We get delighted by the way that we order online and how the parcels arrive, or whatever that we order online, they come to us. We get day in and day out, we get delighted by the kind of experience that we go through in certain e-commerce platforms. I think that's something that is perhaps missing in the air cargo industry, because you are dealing with multiple stakeholders, multiple pieces in the entire value chain. And it becomes easy for someone to import or export by one click, one platform. You don't need to reach out to different players within the logistic value chain. Moritz, a quick comment on customer delight, customer experience. Even the platform that you use has to be so agile to respond to our customer needs.
Yeah, look, I couldn't agree more, Reggie. I think it's very much at the very core of how we think about the customer. It's the experience that we want to provide. And the experience that we want to provide is the technology that we provide to our freight forwarding customers and airlines. But it goes beyond that. We're firm believers that having an amazing customer success and customer support team is key to delivering a great experience. We are in an industry, and everybody knows that, where things go wrong, and it's normal. We're dealing with international trade across many borders, many modes of transports. Things don't always go smooth, and technology can help smooth some of these things out, but there will be problems. And so as part of the customer experience that we provide at cargo.one, we firmly believe in having a great customer service team to kind of underpin all of what we do on the technology side. And then we maintain and build and grow great engineering teams and great product teams that, to Ed's point from earlier, sit with customers and actually try to understand on a daily basis what their challenges are. And it's, as you said, right? We all use our mobile phones today. We have a great experience, but as soon as we enter the office, we go back 20 years in time and need to use spreadsheets and faxes and tons of paper. And we do believe that, in order to maintain great talent, companies also need to maintain a great stack of technology that enables a good customer experience from a user or employee point of view.
Yeah, perfect. That's what if we are booking through Airbnb, booking.com, these are the platform where we don't need to pick up a phone or send an email, wait for their response. It's everything done. When it comes to supply chain logistics, I think what moves is, besides the box that moves or cargo that moves, there is information, and there is also the the payment. So the three things that needs to move, and I think that's where the multiple stakeholders are involved. And in a platform, something like cargo.one and the product that today you offer, cargo.one Pro, add perhaps a little more detail as to the best functionalities that forwarders say make the most impact for them. What are some of those good functionalities or best functionalities in cargo.one Pro that forwarders should actually come on board and be part of this?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's interesting. I think it's always a question we ask ourselves. Have we built something that people really love and want to use? And obviously the best way to find out is to go and watch people using it actually at freight forwarding offices. And then you see where it works and where it doesn't work. And we can fix those things. With cargo.one Pro, it's really three things that freight forwarders that have had access to cargo.one Pro are really getting excited about. The first one is just saving time on emails, right? So if you're someone that sits on the export team in a freight forwarding branch, you're arriving to work every morning to 50 or 100 emails in that inbox, and you'll spend your time responding to all of those requests from around the world for rate, as I just described. And so you spend your whole morning putting together the air freight rates, putting together the local charges and sending back those emails. And frankly, you probably win maybe on a good day, 10% of those shipments. And so the other 90% of those emails are actually somewhat a waste of time. But with cargo.one Pro, once you've uploaded your rates and your dynamic local charges and you've connected to the airline capacity and the airline rates, you can almost sit back and relax. I don't want to say it like that because there's obviously a lot of extra work that goes in, but it means you can focus your time not on answering emails, but actually work on the shipments that you've won. And of course, that's the magic for customers, is that things actually arrive on time, well executed. And so I think it's less emails, better service quality. That's the first one. The second one is on the other side of this, right? So if you're on the imports team, this is one of the most mind-blowing moments for someone that sits on the imports team, because typically as an imports team member, you are writing those emails. You're asking people for rates from all over the world, and you're beholden to your customer. Your customer wants a rate from India. Your customer wants a rate from Hong Kong. Your customer wants a rate from the US. And you have to ask yourself the question, do I have a partner there? Are they going to respond to my email quickly? Are they going to give me a good rate? And you have all those thoughts going through your head. But now with cargo.one Pro, you can simply open cargo.one. You can search dozens of countries where there are your partners and other partners available for you. And you can instantly get the live air freight rates, the dynamic local charges, and you have the quote literally in less than a minute. That makes your life a lot easier, and it means your customer on the phone asking for the rate is going to be baffled that you even have the rate that quickly. So that's the second one. And then the third big thing that's really emerging out of all of this is that, as more and more forwarders have had access to cargo.one Pro, we're seeing, of course, that they discover each other, and people are making new business connections by discovering each other on cargo.one. And practically what that means is that you can wake up in the morning, you can come to the office, and actually you've just got a new shipment booking that's in your inbox from someone that you've never worked with before. And that's when the big thing around trust comes in, right? Like, you really need to make sure that you trust the person that's asking you to ship this thing is reliable, and then most importantly, that they're going to pay you. And so for that, we've been working hard with some of the most forward-thinking freight forwarder networks, and they have joined our Freight Forwarder Network Partner Program. And what that means is that for freight forwarding networks that are part of this program, the forwarders that are using Pro will be able to see other forwarders that are members of the same network. And so they can discover people that they already have this implicit trust with. They've probably met them at a wonderful freight forwarding network event in the past. And that just makes everything way easier. And then layered finally on top of that is the cargo.one Protect program. And this is where we use, all of our data and smarts and the information that we have about thousands of freight forwarders around the world. And we can verify quite effectively thousands of freight forwarders around the world. And of course, if you're on Pro and you've listed your rates, you have the chance to win business from those thousands of freight forwarders that might want to import from your country. And so really with cargo.one Protect, it's like the safest way to do business.
I'm actually picking up very interesting terms from what Ed said, reliability and trust. And I think today we largely live in a world that's of trust deficit. That's something that you find. It's great to have bring in those elements to the product or solution that you're building. Also to give the confidence to your potential customers to come on board. And as rightly you said, discovery of new customers on your platform, which is really good. Moritz, 2017, you founded the company. It's been 5 years, a good journey for you. How does cargo.one Pro fits into your larger goal of digitalization of air cargo industry? When you came in, it was pretty a different picture that you saw in 2017.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a very different picture. I think the industry has come a long way. Obviously, there are industries out there that are maybe a little more forward-thinking and a little more digitalized than we are. But a lot has happened. And I think we also must recognize this, especially in the past 2 years with COVID hitting the global supply chains. A lot has happened. Carriers have become a lot more digital. Freight forwarders are seeking a lot more digital services to enable their global business. And so all of this fits really well with our kind of global vision of having a connected global air cargo industry. And cargo.one Pro really is the next big kind of building block in making that happen, in connecting the global kind of air cargo industry to work a lot more efficiently and to be able to interact with each other. And the feedback that we've gotten from the customers that have already had access to cargo.one Pro is mind-blowing. It's fantastic. It's like we see customers that couldn't imagine that something like this was possible now doing business with agents across the globe, getting bookings overnight, not having to worry about pay, yet having all of the features that they always got through cargo.one of being able to also do export bookings with airlines in real time and instant confirmation. And so I think all of this really kind of adds very, very nicely and fits very nicely into our vision of connected global air cargo. And we're very, very excited now to roll this out to our global user base and to people beyond that, and to just help the global air cargo community get a bit closer and work together.
And this particular product is offered to anyone, your existing freight forwarding community that you already have, and then to every freight forwarder in the world. It's not restricted by any geography.
It's not restricted by geographies. It's available to our global user base of thousands of freight forwarders. And then we're also opening it up, obviously, to freight forwarders that aren't yet part of cargo.one to try to see how it works. And Ed, maybe you want to go into a little more detail of how that actually works.
Yeah, sure. So look, if you want to get involved as a freight forwarder and you're interested in experiencing cargo.one for the first time or cargo.one Pro, of course, if you have an account already with cargo.one, it's very simple. You can log on today and you'll see the option to upgrade to cargo.one Pro. And as soon as you click that, one of our team will be in touch to make sure that you can upload your rates and get the full potential out of cargo.one Pro. If you haven't got a cargo.one account at the moment, it's free to sign up. You just go to our website, cargo.one, and you can sign up. And then, of course, you'll see all of the information about Pro as well. Again, we're on hand if there's any questions and someone can be in touch with you. Another place that you might like to get involved is actually through your freight forwarding network. So I mentioned earlier that we have our Freight Forwarder Network Partner Program. And for those freight forwarding networks that have joined up to that program, the members, if you're a member of one of those networks, you may have actually access to discount on the rate for cargo.one Pro. And if your freight forwarding network is not a member of our partner program, then you're also welcome to put them in touch with us directly. They can also visit our website and learn more about that program. And it can be a huge benefit for you and all of the other members of your network. So that's how to get involved. Of course, we're on hand waiting to answer any questions.
Final question, Moritz, quite a lot of product solutions that you've launched over the last 5 years. How do you really want to scale this up and really make it really across geographies, all stakeholders within air cargo community?
Yeah, I think the amazing part of the product that we're launching now is that it really builds on what we've done in the past 5 years. It builds on the existing user base, on the existing technology. We've always grown primarily through referrals. Users love our product, and so they go to their colleagues, they go to other branch offices and say, hey, why don't you use cargo.one? That's always been primary means of growth. And obviously now, as we're opening it up for import bookings as well, onboarding your global network of freight forwarders that you might be working with is the next step, and it helps us grow the platform, but it also helps our freight forwarding customers to actually digitalize their agent-to-agent business globally. And so we think this really is a win-win situation for everyone, in which we support that digital kind of step into the future, and agents are onboarding their network to cargo.one. And we've seen this work phenomenally well. We've gotten engagements from more than 120 countries already on cargo.one Pro. So really, really interesting numbers, and really promising to see what has been happening. And we're very confident that this will scale quite quickly globally.
Ed, I will give you the final word because you're pretty new to air cargo industry.
Sure. Yeah, I'll take the final word. I'll also just add something, to what Moritz is saying there. I think that's really, really important. It's really important to understand that this is a totally global product from day one. And also, this is not something that we're just launching to the world now. It's been in development for almost 2 years behind the scenes. We've been working hard with the freight forwarders that we've, piloted this with and developed iteration. And it's, from day one, this is already a platform, and cargo.one Pro is a product that's already been used to facilitate thousands and thousands and thousands of quotes and to destinations in over 120 countries around the world. And we have dozens of forwarders that are already offering this from dozens of countries. It's real and it's there now. You can sign up right now and you can go and search the rate and you can see those live import rates from those partners, those forward-thinking freight forwarders that have taken those early steps with us over the last 2 years. And I think this is only this is just the beginning. That would be my remark, I think. This is just the beginning of making life easier for freight forwarders so that freight forwarders can make life easier for us, essentially, as humanity.
It's just the beginning, and I think this is the beginning of a new conversation on digital transformation in air cargo. Moritz and Ed, it's been such a pleasure talking to you. Great to have both of you in this episode of Cargo Mastermind.
Thanks so much, Reggie. It's always been great.
Thanks, Reggie.
That was Moritz Claussen, founder and co-CEO of cargo.one, and Edward Handscombe, VP forwarder at cargo.one. I hope you enjoyed watching this interview. If yes, you know what needs to be done. Like the video and share the video. And more important, if you're not a subscriber of our YouTube channel, please do subscribe now and click the bell icon so that you do not miss any of our new videos. Join me next Monday for another episode of Cargo Masterminds presented by cargo.one. I can tell you, the next one is a big one and a very exclusive one. Don't miss it. Until we meet again next Monday, have a great week ahead. Thank you.
It's all about networking.
It's about making a global connections.
It does make you feel like, you're helping, you're doing something for the world.
Find the right partners for a shipment is always difficult.
When we found out that cargo.one offers real-time import quotes, we were just blown away.
I am a big fan.
cargo.one has been a great step to improve the customer experience.
Things which took normally 24 hours, 40 hours, 48 hours, 1 or 2 days is now reachable in seconds, and this is unbelievable.
When we have access to rates from multiple agents from overseas in real time, we're able to get our customers a response within an hour. It's just been fantastic.
cargo.one Pro is letting us reach new markets.
So far, at least we are increased our market from 20 to 40%.
We found that we are being approached by agents we had not previously worked with and able to secure new business relationships.
We have secured bookings out of hours in the office with cargo.one.
We also invited our partners we've been working with for years now, as they can do bookings all around the clock.
With cargo.one Pro, I'm sure that I will get paid for the shipment.
We feel more likely to work and build a relationship with a trusted partner because it's going to be verified. We would definitely encourage all agents to join cargo.one.
You can connect with so many companies in so many foreign countries where you probably don't have a partner at the moment.
This is the difference between getting business and not getting business.
In my opinion, it is really a must to have such tools on hand.
It's an incredible opportunity.
And it helps us win business while we sleep. Everybody can be a digital forwarder by using cargo.one.
This is a totally game changer. It's a miracle for us forwarders,